Al pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
What's good, everybody? My name is Rafael Chacinas, known as El Capitán Rafucho, and right now, I'm here with my co-host, Zenith, because this is a new episode of The Combat Club, because we're born to be ready in this club. We're born to fight. Anytime, anywhere, anyone. Because right now, it is the month of June because it is the perfect time to see all these incredible fights coming up there in mixed martial arts. Because first and foremost, they got the one and only UFC fight coming up there in New Jersey. Because I'm not trying to be like really shady right now, because here it is, the poster. The Washili versus O'Malley, the World Bantamweight Championship, and Pena versus Harrison for the World Bantamweight Championship at the city at New Jersey. 2 title fights at the price of one night. So we're gonna break it down for those fights right now. So how you feel about that, Science Center? Because we're about to get ready of the summer of UFC coming up there. Banger fights on the main event, banger fights at the preliminary fights. So how you feel about it?
Man, I feel good, man. This week is going to be a blast with the UFC 316. Like you said, and I don't need to repeat it. We got 2 championships on the same court with a lot of bangers in between. You know what I'm saying? We can go down this line and we can be like, hey, he fighting? Okay, he fighting? And I can't wait to break it down with you, my friend. Another edition of the Combat Club. Thank you so much for holding it down while I'm not around, but I'm going to be around more. So hopefully we can start off with this amazing show and we can do a recap sometime next week and we'll go from there. With that being said, man, excited to be here. Let's get it.
Yeah, also we got some comments right now. They say salute to you, Robert Pena, Rafael. Also, and the Tank. How's it going, fellas? We're doing good. All right, so first and foremost, we're gonna break it down for the main card of the UFC 316 at New Jersey. So first and foremost, we got the one and only we got Vicente the Silent Assassin, Luke versus Kevin Trailblazer Holland. Now, this is going to be like a long time since returning for this year-long medical suspension, which he came like into the wake of its Gio Neal loss to UFC Vegas number 51. He's bound back at his fight reserve at the decision, and an often shown down Rafael dos Santos, a career lightweight. But before the Silent Assassin was stopped by Joaquin Buckley at Atlantic City, because they got it ready to off. Because right now, it seems that he just rebounded with a submission victory over Torina Garimbo to close the 2024 fight campaign. But also, Luke has banged 9 post-fight performance bonuses over the course of the UFC career with 4 Fight of the Night honors. Win or lose, I mean, the Brazilian has come to fight and endears himself for the most faithful fight over the years. But his opponent, Kevin Holland, has also 9 post-performance bonuses coming off for the rebound. Because that's pretty much what it is fight. Because Holland was whooping like 81 each race for the stands 440 and just telling to Luke. I mean, that could be like something like a shooting gallery for the Trailblazer. The most likely scenario that the Silent Assassin defaults for this wrestling, like he did against Dos Anjos. Because that's assuming that Brazilian doesn't get seduced by Jersey and Jersey leaders and doesn't get Holland counts as a bowl like a sloppy war fight. So he's getting like a knockdown, but it's going to be like a down foot of the business But instead of this one, I mean, Holland hits like a truck. He's kind of a natural 180 fighter who can cut the 150 or 70 with the surrender advantage. We all love it to snipe at the range of the target without worry it counts too much. But in between for like the strike lane, Holland gets the advantage. If we're wrestling grappling, this is where the Luki needs to take the fight. I know it's grappling to stab at the ball for the Hollands, and I think we're going to see Luki of a takedown very quickly to avoid the strikes. But it's going to be like an interesting side clash. And I will look forward to see how Holland fights here, but I hope to see like a knockdown that I missed for those Blazers. So I will go with Kevin Holland, knockout round 2.
Nice prediction, man. I like that. I am gonna have to agree. I mean, like looking at Topology right now. I mean, like Vicente Luque, he's a dog. Don't get me wrong. He has skills. He deserves to be in the UFC, but his time has kind of passed with him. I mean, like I could be wrong. He's only 3. He could have a 1. But at the end of the day, Kevin Holland been just fighting stiff level of competition, man. When it's Kevin Holland, when he exploded in the 2020, he just never had a hard fight since. And he's going against killers of killers of killers of killers of killers. And I just think that he's more prepared to adapt to situations where Vicente Luque might just fold on. Don't get me wrong, Kevin Holland been folded a bunch, and he did fold a bunch. But at the end of the day, this is a fight that he should win. When Kevin Holland goes into these kind of fights, he usually does win, and he usually does dominate. I think he's a right at this stage in their careers. I think Kevin Holland is the better fighter, and I think Kevin Holland will get the job done. But before you move on, thank you, Hank, for letting us know that. I do want to touch on certain individuals that is fighting on this card. You got my baby Ariane. She's fighting. She's fighting Chong Wing. You know what I'm saying? I think that's gonna be
Exactly.
but I mean, Chong Wing kind of untested yet, and I think Ariane, she does bring that experience. Now for this is going to be her 4th fight in the UFC. I thought she already fought 4 times. I had that one. Chang Ling has two wins with 1 loss coming against Gabriela. But at the end of the day, I just think that Ayani is just going to be a tough level of competition for her. And another fight that kind of stuck out to me. I mean, like there's a ton right here. We can even talk about the first fight on the court. But I know we don't got that much time in the world tonight, guys. So I'm gonna capitalize on this Joshua Van and this Bruno Silva fight. I think that's gonna be an exciting fight for the division of flyweight. And I think Joshua Van is streaking right now. I mean, like I think that guy has all the hype in the world. I mean, like not all the hype in the world, but he is coming off of 3 good fights. You know what I'm saying? He just beat Ray, that was 10-0 when he fought him, and I just believe like he's entering, his time where, okay, now I can start to get a win streak going. Now I can start moving up this ladder. Now I already have a number 12 next to my name. Now let me get into the top 10. And how do you do that? You go out there and you dominate some guy like Bruno. You go out there and you dominate some guy like Bruno Silva. And I'm gonna let you get to some of these too. But we got Sergey fighting this monster that is Cortez, man. This fight card is gonna be fun. You may look at it and you may be like, damn, I don't know much of these people, or I don't really follow the sport that much, but I know you guys all do, because we wouldn't be here on the Combat Club if we didn't. Chaos Williams.
Yes, sir.
God damn, it's gonna be good. Let's
Well, speaking about like the heavyweight, when you're talking about Sergey Spivak versus Walter Cortez Acosta, I mean, between for the strike lane, it's probably obvious that Cortez Acosta is like more confident striker on the feet. In fact, that's the whole thing that it made so much fun to watch, because his right hand is very quick. I guarantee that's one of those, they call it like a baseball throw or a pitch or whatever. But between for the wrestling and grappling, I mean, there's like a huge aspect or reason why Sergey Spivak has so much fun success in the UFC is from his wrestling. I mean, he could be like a fantastic wrestler, and this is like the heavyweight division. Perhaps it's going to want to get him fight to the ground and grind down with a former baseball athlete. But also, this is going to be like an interesting match between a classic wrestler versus a striker bout, because that's kind of like the favors, and he doesn't negate a knockout the first. And between what you're talking about, the flyweight, Bruno Silva versus Joshua Ben, let me tell you for this something right now. The boxing style of Joshua Ben is truly fantastic. Very clean with his both offensive output, intelligent with his shell and defensive movement. I mean, the most amazing thing that he's only 23 years old. 23 years old. I mean, so look at a girlfriend at that age. I mean, I can imagine how fantastic we'll be in 3 years. But the only problem is he's a slow starter to get caught with something early by Silva. And between for like the wrestling grappling, that will say that's gonna be like the only way that Silva wins. But Ben's takedown defense is very fantastic. But I'm gonna be really intrigued that goes for takedowns of the fight because Doc Hardy could wither a little bit of this fight if he employs strictly like a grappling or wrestling heavy approach about that.
That's absolutely facts. I love the fact that you brought those up. That being said, though, let's continue our rise up this court, and we just stop at Mario Batista versus Patty Mitch. I'm gonna let you handle this one because I think Patty Mitch got this one in the bag, but Mario Batista ain't number 8 for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So go right ahead, my friend.
Yeah. Speaking about like this one, which is Mario Batista versus Patchy Mitch. So between for this one, I mean, before that was Mario Batista versus Marlon Vera. But since Marlon Vera is dealing with this injury report, so right now they just wanted to put it in with Patchy Mitz. But right now it seems that he became like one of the former alums of Bellator and PFL, but it really collapsed into this way that are pointless and for still not really understood that some of the best fighters now employed by the UFC, they finally get the chance to struggle the stuff at the biggest stage of the combat sports. But I'm really sure that he will perform outside of the confines of Bellator after watching Michael Chandler self-destruct. But addition about it, because he's going to be like his favorite, but also perhaps Bautista has an advantage right here.
No, Batista definitely is going to be the favorite, bro. Batista, everybody's probably picking Batista to fuck this guy up. Like, I'm going to be honest, bro. Like, what is the odds? I need to look at the odds on this one, but I'll let you continue. I just think that Mix is just unproven in the sense of the big league. It's almost like the Harrison versus Juliana fight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna let you finish. I don't wanna go. I'll just let you go.
Yeah. But also, I mean, perhaps I could advantage right here, but I think that Bautista has more than a bit of wrestler, but he doesn't know that he was gonna be wild to strike against a grappler who has a longer reach over him. He could have been like really lurid into exposing himself for the takedown. But with for like the style of wrestling grappling, Patchy Mitz is very fantastic on the ground. Body triangle and the combination of RNC is a signature that is Raiden Willis. I really acknowledge that Bautista himself has fantastic grappling, but his reach and the length of Patchy Mitz, I mean, is going to add to the control factor because it's very easier to control the opponent that when one has longer limbs to look at interview with those limbs and stuff. But this is going to be like a huge fight to witness. That should be really good. But also, here's like the odd bets. The Brazilian is currently minus 180 betting favorite and matches up with the Batista eventually both height and reach. But Mitz will be fighting Saul Paul against the switch stance for UFC veteran, and this is gonna be like a 3-rounder coming out for who has the better grappling. I mean, there's no question that Batista has faced stiff competition towards his career, going for toe for toe with top stars like Jose Aldo and Corinne Sanhagen. But I just don't think that his opponent is good enough to pick him based on the alone. But it's gonna be anticipate a very close fight, with Mitz taking the W by getting like a better for the frequent grappling exchange.
Well said. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Hank. Mix has incredible grappling.
There you go.
Definitely incredible. And I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to take him here. You know, I get it. You know, money should be on Moyo. Moyo should handle business in here. But at the end of the day, I just, Moyo's resume on paper says Moyo should come in and handle business. But when you look at Bellator and what they was in recent years, they really elevated the game. They're not a laughing stock no more. You know what I'm saying? The UFC is really the ultimate proving ground, and that is facts. But I do believe that he could come in and he could make a big UFC debut. And I'm gonna take him here. I'm gonna take Mix, and I love everything you just said too. One thing I'm gonna say on the next one, I'm gonna say that Kelvin Gastelum. I didn't even know he was fighting. I didn't know he was still fighting. For some reason I thought he was older. I thought he was 36. I believe he's 33, and I just don't know why I faded him from my mind. But I do believe in Joe Pyfer being the younger fighter and the fighter that's almost never really got his chance yet. The more hungry fighter is gonna come in and probably handle business in that one. I truly believe that Joe Pyfer is probably gonna knock out Kevin Gastelum, and I don't say that lightly because I know who Kevin Gastelum is, and I know it does usually take a striking specialist like a Izzy in his prime to do the job. But I just think that Joe Pyfer, this is his moment to finally get the legend name. Not even now. Calvin's not even a legend. I said that kind of wrong, but the big name, should I say, the household name? That's a better word. It's Joe Pyfer's finally time to get the household name, and now Joe Pyfer, you become the household name. Because let's be honest here, like Calvin Gastelum is way bigger as a star in the UFC than Joe Pyfer, but this is the time where Joe Pyfer can become his own star and capitalize on his own moment, and that's why I'm gonna pick Joe Pyfer to knock the fuck out of Calvin Gastelum.
I mean, that's really right. And speaking about Kevin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer, because if you guys remember what happened on March 29, 2025, when both fighters, they're supposed to be fighting on Mexico City, but he just replaced it and they just cancel it because the fight was canceled the day that the band Joe Pyfer's illness. But right now, after months and months and months, right now, it is finally get done, but this time it's gonna be at New Jersey. But with people like Kevin Gastelum, because let me tell you for this something. Kelvin has been a problem for a lot of big name fighters over that year and consistently overperforms. He's under the dog, some of the upset with Uriah Hall in The Ultimate Fighter. But even they went to retire Michael Bisping and nearly to the middleweight division. They were upside down with the performance against Israel Zendaya when it's on prime. And more importantly, that Gastelum has been never knocked out in 29 professional fights. It has faced every handle sluggers along the way, including Jenny Caronier, Robert Whittaker. But it's been a complete inside for Octagon for over like a decade. He's still 33. That makes very younger the several fights in the lineup, including that one. But it will be the period that he never mastered the psychological components to reach the pinnacle of the sports, evidence for never-ending wide struggles and inconsistent performance. But it's not that really fair that as Shima the considerably number 2 in the world, I mean, their fighters that are ranked by Vittori, that shouldn't be belongs. Between for the other part, Joe Pyfer, they will look to prove them wrong that it's quite to be like a bona fide contender at 185 because he has lost some shine when it got shut down by Jack Ferguson and UFC Vegas back in 2024. But also, I mean, they need to stand out and they need to get worried about the pick it apart because both are reasonably good boxing. But I think that Joe Pyfer carries a lot more power in his hands. But Gastelum Chin has been honorable to knock out, so perhaps it's visually like very impressive for the scorecards, but still get a ratio to the Spanish might be problematic for Gastelum. But I don't know between for like the wrestling grappling. I don't know probably the wrestling grappling as well as the fight. So that will see like happen. Maybe like at a 50-50. Because if they had the motivation training advantage, this time around they have to change their mind. So it happened doesn't bite. So I will tell for this one, Joe Pyfer, unanimous decision. I mean, that could be it. Because I understand that with a 28 years old, even without the knockout punch, is going to be like the busiest striker. And even is going to be more spending time taking it down than working about it. Because he really needs to win one of the 2-3 rounds to go like very victorious.
That is absolutely, I love it. Good facts. We had Chris join the chat. What's up, Chris? Thank you so much for being here. We had Wills in the comments as well.
How's it going, Chris Gray?
Absolutely.
Salute to you, Chris Gray.
Absolutely. We had Wills in the chat as well. Salutes to Wills as well. Salutes my brother. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
That being said, though, I agree. And I said, what's up? Hey, appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. That being said, I said, and I think it's gonna happen. I just have a feeling that Python gonna knock him out. Like I get it, I know his chin is. I know that, yeah, he gonna get knocked out. I don't like gas on him, but I just think it's he gonna steal that spotlight from him. I'm gonna go with Joe on this one. I'm gonna take the main event. I'm gonna take the co-main event because I kind of am more excited about that one. I'm gonna go first on that one again if you don't mind, and then I'll let you go on the Sean O'Malley and Moab.
Oh yes, exactly.
Perfect. So Kayla Harrison, Juliana Pena, man. What can I say, man? This is gonna be a banger. I touched on it early on Premium Takes earlier today. Make sure you guys go check that out. Shameless plug, my bad. That being said, though, Kayla Harrison, man, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. If you don't respect gold in the Olympics, you're absolutely out of your mind. You know, we have all these professional athletes from all around the world getting together and competing for who's the best. So anyone who says that, like, you know, that gold doesn't matter in the Olympics is absolutely out of their mind. And you know, I just don't feel that a UFC title, and this is not at Julia Pena because I you know, that's my angel right there. You know what I'm saying? That being said, though, it's not at her. But at the end of the day, it's basically not all the best fighters fight in the UFC. Let's just be honest, right? And I get it. Not all the best fighters and all the best people go to the Olympics. But when you kind of compare if you tax a normal person on the streets that don't follow anything, like what holds more weight, Olympic gold, UFC belt, I think Olympic gold will probably bring that conversation. And I'm saying this because like I think I'm not saying that no one really is disrespecting her, but I just think that Kayla Harrison being training at the age of 6 and doing sumo and all this commitment to the love of the sport and then transitioning to MMA and then going on an amazing streak. And the only reason why she wasn't even in the UFC is because she was too heavy for the UFC. So at the end of the day, like I do think that Juliana Pena is the more, you know, how would I put this? Obviously she's the bigger fighter here because she's the household name. She's the champion for a reason. In her last 10 years, she's always fighting the best of the best. She's big here because, like I said on Premium Takes, I mean, like if you think about it, she's the last person to actually beat the best fighter of all time in the women's divisions in her prime, in Amanda Nunes. She's the last fighter to ever beat Amanda Nunes when Amanda Nunes was in her prime. We're not talking about Amanda Nunes early on. We're talking about Amanda Nunes prime lioness. Okay. Juliana Pena did that shit, okay?
Exactly.
I don't take anything away from Juliana, and I followed her mostly her entire career. I don't think I missed the Juliana fight. If I missed one, I probably watched it on replay. And I just think that the world is not the world, but for me, I'm gonna go with Kayla Harrison, man. I just shit, and Kayla Harrison clearly now has her chance to capitalize on her moment. And I see Kayla Harrison, as weird as this fucking sounds, guys, running through Pena and making it a dogfight and finishing her inside the distance. And I don't see it going to decision. Kayla Harrison is gonna finish Juliana Pena. It's gonna happen. Kayla Harrison will become champion. I'm sorry, Angel, but you're gonna lose your strap. Go ahead.
Ooh, I really like it. I really like it. And before I had to go to the breakdown right now for that fight, I just wanted to tell you, thanks, Chris Gray, Hank the Tank, and of course, thanks to the brother, Wales to New Jersey. Salute to Wales to New Jersey, which actually he just went to the official whining competitions before the event of UFC.
Let's go, Wales!
In New Jersey.
Yeah.
So make sure to subscribe to Wales to New Jersey because he's about to finish a video for the weigh-ins. So thank you very much. So
make sure you guys go subscribe.
Yep. Between for that fight of Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison, first and foremost, between for the striking, I don't really think that the Venezuela Bison, Juliana Pena, has a clear advantage here. But I just wanted to be fair and just feel like it is sympathetic enough because somehow she's the champion and they're gonna really respect it. But between for the wrestling and grappling, there's no competition in that category. Because Kayla Harrison is going to do like some horrific things to Pena because I just wanted to see like a two-woman sort of the beef because I really enjoy the trash talk between for like the press conference. All through I think it's going to be like really loud and squeaking with his hogs, with his jarring, but also there's going to be predicting the submission coming up there. But between for like the issue, I mean, so many people, they're just talking about Juliana Pena. They have some of the worst striking that ever seen on the combat sports. I mean, Pena is able to compensate with the shortcomings with the defeat with Rachel's crown. Attack, grabbing chin, firearm cardio, outside Amanda Nunez. There's no batting ways where no one-punch knockout power, including the challenger Kelly Harrison. But her stronger attributes were she carried Harrison with a pair of Olympic gold medals, as well with a war title under the PFL banner. I mean, Pena will not able to bully Harrison or draw down for the championship rounds. Even the challenger weight cut down team. I mean, let's face it. I mean, neither competitor feels very comfortable on the feet, so it's going to be really decided on the ground. So we can't overlook Harrison lost to Larissa Pacheco back in 2022, but I'm very sure that Pena has been studying that tape. But I don't see that a path victory for Pena outside for her stopping Kayla Harrison, Marcus Luck, and Tack. And they're kind of hoping to just link to their favor. But everything that Juliana Pena does, Kayla Harrison does a lot of better. Almost she's like in a final form, but also think that challenger is going to be really angry. So it's going to be expected to be a statement on Saturday night. So I will tell it for this one. And this is going to be really shocking. I want to see Kayla Harrison defeating against Juliana Pena by submission at the round number 2. This is going to be an upset, but I guarantee this is going to be it.
Let's get it. I agree. I said what I needed to say. You lead the dance on the main event. We have Sean Sugar Show O'Malley versus Marab. Let me just give you a rundown and I'll let you take it. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker could read for this shit. So shout out to him. Just shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? My time with the family. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sugar Show. And then we got Marab, the machine. I mean, like, what can we say? We're looking at one of the best bantamweights, if not the best bantamweight to ever hold that damn strap. Sorry, Dominic Cruz, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, Marab is him. Go right ahead, Raphael. Kick it off, and I'll finish it. Let's get it.
All right, because the main event is gonna be really interesting because we have the bantamweight champion, the second part. The round 2 of Murad the Machine Debashili versus Sean O'Malley to Sugar Show. But between for like the first one, Murad Debashili somehow defeat Sean O'Malley to capture the Bantam crown atop of UFC 306 in Las Vegas. And like any rematch, we had to look what went wrong for the losing and what's changed that they lost for to aggravate a different outcome. Because between for like all the things that happened to Sean O'Malley, because he just stopped smoking weed and quit social media for a little bit to concentrate about for this rematch against Murad Debashili. Because it's not like when O'Malley moved his camp to Dagestan and spent 3 years getting pummeled for the worst wrestlers before finally securing the match. No, he got hip surgery. He just watched Hugh Martin were doing shit about UFC 311, and he back to the gym with the head coach Tim Welch to do exactly the same that did have a UFC 306. Because every fighter is beatable, including Debashili. Because he just blamed Frankincense for the takedowns at 11-0 and still lost a split decision in UFC in Fresno. But O'Malley is very questionable about the superior striker has a knockout power. But one of the biggest problems facing Sugar is that Debashili unrelated attack Rom's ability to set up with the strikes. The low kicks are apparently out of the question against a wrestler with his caliber. But the challenger's long to the lean frame makes it like a fluid striker, but also sitting duck. But the machine, Marab, is simply too strong to be like a stamina for the standard sprawl. Perhaps I mean like the promotion is reboot so quickly because they just wanted to squeeze whatever they choose that is left in the O'Malley figure tree, but also they can't have it. There's no one left to right. I mean, we can worry about it because Debashili is an unstoppable wrestler, but over the cardio with a flashy striker whooped 8 months ago. I mean, there's absolutely no reason to think history will repeat itself unless the machine do something stupid that I like it about for this wrestling and try to finish O'Malley on the feet as promising back in April. But between for like the main event, O'Malley has a clear advantage. He had the advantage last time he has success on the 5th round. So I guess that every round is very dangerous from Murad to engage with 1 feet. But between for wrestling and grappling, this is Murad bread and butter, or like peanut butter to jelly. I get that O'Malley has the submissions of his arsenal, but his morale wrestling pressure should be able to easily neutralize that. But O'Malley, I mean, he really deserves a rematch. Because why does a rematch that are rendered a little bit of misled surrounded the changes? But of course, I'm making Sean O'Malley a fully confident lock, but also it's gonna be like a knockout chance not to be really ignored. But if he does like really incredible, unless the Murad Dvalishvili has to do anything stupid, I would take a lot of advantage to Sean O'Malley because I know he really fucking seen when it comes to like the weakest point of Murad Dvalishvili. So I'm gonna give me the rematch. Sean O'Malley, knockout, round number 3, and take over the bantamweight champion as a rematch.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley gonna get it done. He gonna get it done. I mean, like you just said it all. Injured, I believe it, man. I believe it. You don't understand what it takes to wrestle. I mean, like wrestle is the most physically demanding thing that you can ever do. I mean, like more physically demanding than any sport, I would say. If you really think about it, if you really want to drain a bunch of cardio, wrestling will be it because it really works the whole body. And the fact that if you can't wrestle for 6-7 weeks training for the machine and all he wants to do is wrestle, I mean, like there's problems here. You know what I'm saying? All they did, Sean O'Malley knows I know how to strike. I don't need to strike. All they did was train wrestling to stop takedowns. Do I believe that Sean O'Malley has better cardio than the machine? Absolutely not. But I don't think the fight's gonna get there. I think Sean O'Malley's gonna be composed. He's gonna be way more better. He's gonna fight at distance. He's gonna pick his shots. He's gonna be a sniper. What we love to see. And when Ramarov shoots, yes, he's probably gonna be taken down. But guess what? That wrestling and that training is gonna get him right back up. He ain't gonna fold because of that injury and to submit to the position. Yeah. Moab's gonna get knocked out here. Put your money on that. And if I'm wrong, don't blame me that you put your money on it.
Yeah, I understand a lot about it, but it seems that between for like in the first fight, I mean, that would be like a really surprise if Sean O'Malley wins the rematch. Because if what happened for the first part of Murad Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley, I mean, that would be the start the second fight for the third round that I think is really smart. Because what happens if Robbie trying to sustain 5-round Lawler for a whole 25-minute fight and we'll down with the stone court and we're rapidly as a result? Because there's probably a reason why Sugar brought it in for Israel Sindaya for this camp. Sometimes you can really snipe for a dude for a barrel knockout. Other times you had to kind of make it like secure the decision. And I mean, the Sugar seems like prioritized to the former the first fight, but I kind of expected to go for it this time around. But obviously, if he wants to win this rematch, I mean, he will look at this grappling, striking. But of course, I mean, it is so easy to target. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to lose it again. Because, I mean,
just to answer Hank's question, I mean, like Moab doesn't need to. Sean doesn't need to make Moab come forward. Moab's gonna come forward. Moab's gonna shoot the takedown. Sean's gonna stay there and snipe him. Yes, Moab's gonna take a takedown, but he's not gonna submit to the position this time around. I mean, like he might be wrong. I don't know I might be wrong. I don't know the future. But what I will say, what we've seen in the last fight is when Sean O'Malley got taken down, he submitted because in the last fight, and I don't think he's one to lie. In the last fight, he couldn't train wrestling the whole fight in the training camp. So how do you prepare for the machine not training wrestling? You know what I'm saying? And I get it. He may know how to wrestle, but a hip injury or whatever he was dealing out is going to plague. And if you look at the fight, the positions that he was in was on the ground. And I think Moab is great. I think Moab is reckless. Like you said, his takedowns is amazing. He's the best bantamweight to ever do it. But I also believe that Sean O'Malley is one of the best snipers to ever do it. And he fights some people that have chins, but when he fights some people that can be put down, it happens. And I do believe that he can put Moab down. I could be wrong here, and Moab could go in there and absolutely dominate. And I truly believe, I think I didn't even look at the odds yet, but I think Moab is the clear favorite. But that being said, I think a lot of people is gonna cash. Like a lot of people is gonna put Sean O'Malley by a knockout. I don't know how it looks right now, and I think a lot of people is gonna cash. I think the odds are probably moving that way. So check before it's probably gonna move because I guarantee you Vegas is not gonna probably take that chance. Where I you know what? Keep talk, Rafael. I'm gonna look at the odds what it's at right now because what it started was probably Moab by a lot. But let's see it right now.
Yeah, I understand because to be honest, about like the question that you asked, can the tank? I mean, Morad's footwork is already moving. I mean, won for the first one. I mean, Sean couldn't get into this flow because Mariah kept really like it all with his rhythm by constantly recoloring. And it takes like a really insane amount of the cardio. That's a really prime exam that you can use an excellent against tank or the defensive resource. I mean, it really forced Sean to try to chase Finsful exchanges, opening it off for the takedown from Marab. But after that, I just watched it. I mean, the people just wanted to guess it as bad as they thought, but I guess all fights are kind of like that. I can tell that Sean O'Malley wasn't 100% himself, usually stand under pressure. But in this fight, he allowed Marab to control that pace. When Marab gave up on his like Sean moved like was a step too slow to react. But I anticipated adjustments. We will understand with the gas offensively as long as he can go like the problem is a range sniper and Mariah gets only to shoot the takedown. I mean, it'll be like a really closer everything, but it seems that between for like the odds coming up there, I mean, it's gonna be like a really interesting because I know that Devashili is ranking minus 295 and O'Malley is the underdog plus 220. I mean, what can I tell you about this right now? Can you imagine about
exactly?
Like,
it's been moving, right? So like he opened at minus 198, but like so a lot of people is taking Marab, so Marab is actually pushing up, but I guarantee you it comes back down. But I might take that 225 looks good right now. That 225, like if it keeps on going up, I mean, like I don't know why it would go up. I mean, like it should be going down, but I guess Vegas knows something. I'm just gonna vibe it. I'm gonna vibe it my dog Sean here.
Yep, exactly. But also there was like a last thing because I understand that he just wanted to rematch to fight the best version. But I understand that he just delayed for the rematch. But they give like everything to like sort of fight because they give like a lot of options. I mean, if they want to fight against the best version of Sean O'Malley before surgery, he was coming to the back in March and April. They give it like a lot of the time. But Marab fighting in April lasted 3 months after the grueling 5-round fight with Omar. It will be like a lot of stupid because they only force the quick turnaround for the fighters they hate, like giving them Maya the title shot or Woodley on 5 weeks' notice. They can't have with a soft-spoken grappler as a welterweight championship. But it's still something about that. Even new Cat couldn't down a legit wrestler with the 24-week at the camp his wrestling shoes on. Also, they could have tried to get Bellator defense against Shabbat at 307 after he won the belt at 304. Literally like at a 10-week turnaround. I mean, they just wanted to give it because they definitely have the ability to pressure fighters as at a place. Because I understand they always done this. In particular, they're traded a decision between grapplers. Just look at Evo right now. It should be like an undeniable number one contender, but he's awfully shoved it at the bog, the tag, but also he just wanted to cement the title channel status. But I think it's gonna be like at a really point, but the cardio is not gonna be like a problem for Marab. But how did he do that about it? Because it's gonna be like a really slowing down to become a dimension. But it seems that it's not going to be like anywhere with the leagues. It seems like the good base for a low-level karate profanship what I didn't really expect it. But it's going to be like a come for the resume because this Capitán is real. I mean, Murad Bashili, I mean, he just looking good, but this cardio, he needs like going to improve it. And between that, Sean O'Malley could take a lot of advantage about that because he studied.
Well said. I mean, like, yeah, I basically got it all out. I got what I needed to get out. I'm gonna go back recap. Let's just recap it right now. I'm gonna go take Sean O'Malley by knockout. I'm gonna take Kayla Harrison probably by TKO or yeah, I don't know. Kayla Harrison, TKO and Pena. That'd be crazy. But I'm gonna just say by stoppage. But I don't know if it's gonna be submission. I don't know if it's gonna be it might even be 5 rounds of straight domination. But I'm just gonna take Sean O'Malley by knockout. I'll take Kayla Harrison just to win. Joe Pyfer by knockout. Patty Mix. I'm gonna say by decision, and then I'm gonna take Kevin Holland second round submission. No. Sorry. Knockout. Second round knockout. Submission against Vicente. What am I thinking? Second round knockout. What do you got?
Yeah, because right now for Electro, this fight, I would love to see it. Because first and foremost, I would love to see it of Vicente Luque by unanimous decision.
Okay.
Also, Patchy Mitch by submission at the round number 2. Joe
Okay.
Pfeiffer is going to take it down against Gabby Castellon at submission round 2.
Okay.
Also, Kayla Harrison against Juliana Pena by submission at the round number 2. And Shauna Miley as knockdown knockout at the round number 4 for the bantamweight championship against Marata Bashili. Because I really understand that sometimes my pace could be great, but sometimes it doesn't have like the power. So right now, give me Sean O'Malley to recover the bantamweight championship that he lost for the first one.
I absolutely love it. Good shit, my friend. Great fucking stream. Thank you for having me on again. I know I'm always going to come in for these big ones. I'm going to try to make it more often for these smaller ones, but I know these big ones, I'll try to for sure always show up and show love. Thank you for that Combat Club for giving me the spot, to come in as a guest sometimes. And I truly believe that. Thank you so much, Rafael.
Yeah.
Back to you, my friend. Let's get it.
Yeah, that's exactly. And of course, it's been like another episode of the Combat Club with my co-host, Zenith. Make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho, Rafael Chassin on YouTube. Also, make sure to subscribe to Zenith on YouTube and make sure to follow us on social media at as known as Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere, because this is like a episode with 100% attitude. And right now, we're getting ready right now. So shout out to all for the comments. Thank you very much, Chris Gray, Hank the Tank, Wellston, New Jersey. I really hope that I'm gonna watch that weighting competitions because I understand that you are in New Jersey, but right now the UFC is gonna be like a hell of a great fight between Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison and Marata Bashili versus Shauna Miley. So this is gonna be really good. So it's been like another episode of the Combat Club with Capitán Rafucho and Zenith. So we will see you there tomorrow, providing a call-in play-by-play live commentary of the UFC 316 at New Jersey. You gotta stay tuned for my channel, Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. So I just wanted to tell you, thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you there at another episode of the Combat Club at the same time, probably, but right now, it's coming into end right now. So thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday. And of course, we will see you there at the next episode. So let's get it.